This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We anticipate releasing the hold in just a few moments.
1, mark. T-minus 4 minutes and counting.
3:55.
Ground power enable.
The countdown clock has resumed and we're proceeding towards a 6:28 a.m. Eastern Time liftoff.
Three minutes.
Securing LO2 topping.
Atlas tanks to flight pressure.
250.
Adjust internal.
T-minus 2 minutes, 29 seconds and counting. Once the rocket lifts off, it'll take only about 47 seconds to reach Mach 1 or the speed of sound.
$159.
Vehicle internal.
$155.
Launch sequencer start.
$150.
Securing Centaur LH2.
Securing Centaur LO2.
$140.
FCS launch enable.
FCS armed.
T-minus 1 minute, 29 seconds and counting. The launch vehicle, payload, ground systems, and eastern range are go for launch.
120.
Orca is armed. FCS count started.
110.
Vent valves locked.
60.
T-minus 1 minute.
Port range status.
Range green.
$40.
Stable at step 3.
T-minus 30 seconds.
25.
Go
Status
Atlas.
check. Go
Go
Centaur. Go Morelos 3.
20. 15.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. RD-180 ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of the 100th United Launch Alliance rocket. The Atlas V is carrying Morelos 3 for Mexico's Ministry of Communications and Transportation and Lockheed Martin Commercial Launch Services. Morelos 3 will deliver advanced mobile telecommunications throughout Mexico.
Attack phase of flight. SRB chamber pressures have peaked and are rolling off now. Roll program's complete and we are throttling down. Mach 1. back up. Engine response looks good. Pump speeds, injector pressures. Max Q.
You're hearing the voice of Marty Malinowski providing launch vehicle ascent data. Let's listen in for mission progress.
Continue to burn well. Pump speeds, injector pressures on the RD-180. Good. Body rates controlling down the middle. Coming up on SRB burnout. And SRB burnout has occurred. Boosters now throttling back up to 100% thrust. Engine response looks good. Current altitude is 18 miles, downrange distance 15 miles, current velocity 2,824 miles per hour. Booster engine performance continues to look very good, body rates controlling down the middle. Coming up on SRB jettison shortly. And closed loop steering has been enabled, now flying Q alpha limited steering. RCS pyro valve has been fired. System's now pressurizing to flight levels. Closed loop integral steering is underway. Currently accelerating at 2.8 Gs. Engine performance looks very good. Body rates are good. Range track shows making good progress right down the middle of the range. Currently flying at an altitude of 47 miles, downrange distance 103 miles, current velocity 6,590 miles per hour. Still accelerating smoothly at 3.7 Gs. Booster engine continues to operate well. And we have begun boost phase chill down and are beginning to throttle to maintain 5 Gs. And boosters throttling back to maintain a constant 4.6 Gs in preparation for BECO. Boost phase cooldown is complete. And we have BECO. Engine shutdown looks good. We have retros and stage separation. We have LOX and fuel pre-start. GM2 purge for into the RCS is underway. We have ignition and full thrust on the RL-10. Centaur closed loop steering has been enabled. Body rates look good. LOX tank pressures have vented down as expected. Storage bottle pressures look good. Centaur PU is now in closed loop control, controlling near nominal. RCS line temperatures are warming towards bottle temperature. Current altitude is 107 miles, downrange distance 465 miles, current velocity 12,611 miles per hour. RL-10
This is Atlas Mission Control at L plus 5 minutes 25 seconds into the flight. We've just heard Marty Malinowski confirm successful completion of the early phase of today's mission. All systems continue to operate nominally. The Morelos 3 mission is currently in the first of 2 Centaur upper stage engine burns. Our next event, the Centaur main engine cutoff, will occur in about 13 minutes. I'm now joined by Steve Skolodnik, President of Lockheed Martin Commercial Launch Services. Steve, thanks for joining me.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, Lockheed Martin Commercial Launch Services is supplying the launch for the Mexican government today. How do commercial Atlas launches work?
So, as you well know, Steve, the United Launch Alliance is a joint venture between Lockheed Martin and the Boeing company. United Launch Alliance is in place to service the U.S. government market space. So the parent companies, Boeing and Lockheed Martin, will market their respective products to the commercial market space and to the international market customers around the world. So when a commercial customer or when an international customer would like a ride on an Atlas rocket, they would contract for that service through Lockheed Martin, and then I'd turn around and request the assistance of United Launch Alliance to actually perform that service.
I see. What do commercial customers like about launching on an Atlas?
Steve, the Atlas vehicle is considered around the world as literally the gold standard for launch services. It is the most reliable launch vehicle in both terms of performance and in terms of date certainty. A satellite sitting on the ground really does a customer no good. They can't generate any revenues from it. In fact, it costs them money sitting on the ground. So to get a satellite into orbit on time when they expect it to, so that they can be providing the services that they are on contract to provide to their customers, is absolutely critically important. And Atlas has almost a perfect record in making sure that we achieve not only mission success but on-time performance as well.
Well, this is a commercial launch, and commercial launches usually occur for commercial customers. But this is a launch for the Mexican government. How has it been working with a government customer?
When you're dealing with international customers, their needs and their requirements are really not that much different than a commercial customer. They have their customers. The government of Mexico has their customers as well. In this case, this particular satellite is servicing the defense community within the government of Mexico. So my customer, the communications ministry within Mexico, has to provide services to their customer and has to do so on a timely basis and on a mission assured basis as well. So really it's not that much different.
Well, Steve, you've been to many launches before. How do you feel right now in the middle of this flight?
You're absolutely right, Steve. I have been to a lot of launches, but every launch is different, and every launch has its own unique character. In this case, being for an international customer, the accents of the applauses are a little different. But I have to say, every time I see the T0 hit and I see the rocket take off, I still feel like a little kid at heart to see it take off.
Well, that's great. Thanks for all your insights into this important capability for Mexico. Now let's get back to the mission.
61 miles, downrange distance 1,313 miles, current velocity 14,430 miles per hour. Centaur PU continues to run slightly oxidizer rich. Chamber pressures, box pump discharge, and fuel venturi all look good for the set MR. RL-10 continues to perform well. All systems look good at this point. Centaur battery rates continue to control right down the middle. RL-10 performance continues to look good for the oxidizer rich mixture ratio. Centaur currently is flying at an altitude of 154 miles, downrange distance 1,850 miles, current velocity 15,923 miles per hour. RL-10 continues to look very good, still controlling slightly oxidizer rich. RCS thermal conditions all look very good, continuing to see periodic thermal conditioning firings on that system. Centaur is accelerating at 0.6 Gs. Centaur continues to look very good. RL-10 performance is nominal for the ZMR. And we have IAP vanish at this point. Centaur is orbital. Less than 5 minutes remain in this burn. Centaur tank pressures, storage bottle pressures, and batteries look good. Continuing to see our thermal conditioning firings on the RCS. RL-10 performance is nominal for the ZMR. Four minutes remain in this burn. All systems look good. Currently flying at an altitude of 125 miles, downrange distance 2,649 miles. Current velocity 18,422 miles per hour. RL-10 chamber pressures, LOX discharge, and fuel venturi all look very good. Pump housing temperatures are in the expected range. RCS temperatures look very good and stable. Still controlling oxidizer rich. .930 seconds into the mission, Centaur continues to perform well. Still requesting an oxidizer-rich condition. RL-10 performance looks good. RCS is stable. Tank pressures and bottles look good. Batteries are stable as well.
This is Atlas Mission Control at L plus 16 minutes and 2 seconds into the Morelos 3 mission. All systems continue to operate as expected. The Atlas Centaur second stage and Morelos 3 satellite are currently located over the Atlantic Ocean, flying on a southeasterly heading east of Antigua. Our next event, the first Centaur main engine cutoff, or MECO 1, is scheduled to take place in about 3 minutes. Here's Marty Malinowski.
16 miles per hour. Centaur PU is still slightly oxidizer rich. RL10 performance looks good, however, for this NMR. Less than 1 minute to MECO. RL10 continues to look very good. RCS just seeing light thermal conditioning firings. Body rates controlling down the middle. All systems look good coming out on MECO. And we have MECO engine shutdown looks good. We have 4S settling.
As Marty Malinowski just reported, the Centaur main engine has completed the first of 2 burns in its mission to deliver the Morelos 3 satellite to geosynchronous transfer orbit. This mission is now in a 2.5-hour coast phase. The Atlas V is now located over the Atlantic Ocean off the west coast of Africa and continues to travel on a southeasterly heading. During this coast, the mission will continue in a southeasterly direction, crossing over the southern African continent, after which the heading will turn slightly north. Following the long coast, the Centaur RL-10C engine will be restarted for a final 1-minute burn. A nearly 3-minute coast will follow the burn. The mission will then end with the Morelos 3 separation, scheduled to occur at just under 2 hours 52 minutes after liftoff.